As you might just possibly have heard, Broadway is mostly dark this weekend, as the stagehands' strike continues. The impact on the ever-fragile theatrical economy has been much discussed, as has the larger influences on businesses that benefit from the thousands of theatergoers who flood Midtown before and after shows. But the trauma inflicted on a very small but, in my biased view, hardly worthless demographic has gone sadly unremarked upon. No one has probed the painful effects of the strike on, a full dozen or so of our city's citizens, theater critics.
Nothing is happening in art. I'm for closing down all the theaters, for artistic reasons. There will be no art until the last theater goer has been hung with the guts of the last actor.
I'm here to answer those questions you thoughtlessly didn't think to ask. I also hope that my modest list of potential Thanksgiving weekend activities might serve to supplement the many thousands of entertainment options that the news media have been helpfully supplying in the past week or two.
Rule number 16. The play is a chair, or rather the plan for a chair. It is our job to make the chair. A. The chair must function, that is, people need to be able to sit in it without it falling apart. B. The chair should be comfortable, that is, it shouldn't be unpleasant to sit in. C. It would be nice if the chair looked good and was well designed aesthetically. The most beautifully designed chair in the world is still a bad chair if you cannot sit in it without it falling apart.
For the record, and for the umpteenth time, 8 Broadway shows are still running. 8! Count 'em! 8! I particularly reveled in the silly delirium of Xanadu, and the sweet satiric charm of the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. But given the trauma the Broadway community is undergoing, I have graciously allowed my critical acumen to go on strike. I am recommending everything else that's still playing, too.
The stage. Destroy it carefully, not with effort, but with delicate maneuvers. Only one theatrical problem exists now: how to create a stage performance in which the spectator experiences the danger of art, not as involvement or risk or excitement, not as something that reaches out to vulnerable areas of his person, but rather the danger as a possible decision he, spectator, may make upon the occasion of confronting a work of art. The work of art as a contest between object or process and viewer.
For fans of straight drama, replacements are a little harder to find. I am planning to take advantage of the many hours I won't be spending watching, say, a Tom Stoppard play, by immersing myself once again in one of my favorite television series, the almost unfathomably wonderful Friday Night Lights. I have about 5 episodes from the new season on DVR, but they can also be downloaded from the NBC website, nbc.com. This alternative also allows you to let one strike benefit another. As you may also have heard, the Writers Guild of America is on strike against television and movie producers. You can show your respect for the work of television writers by catching up on one of the best written and acted and directed shows I've ever seen. Runner-up option, the reliably brilliant 30 Rock.
The theater will not disappear unless we are all done in. The theater has never died, though at times it has suffered a partial eclipse. Even with the banning of the theaters in England between 1642 and 1660, there remained a theater underground. The theater never dies because it is an art of actual presence. People, not their images, are in immediate contact. The impulse to celebrate and manifest themselves in close proximity with one another has from time immemorial been deep-rooted in human nature. Broadway is only a momentary and minute part of the theater's history. In despondent moods, I refer to it as the theater's ghetto.
Some of the most amusing live theater I've come across in the city doesn't actually happen in an auditorium. New York is full of impromptu, absolutely free performances. A treasure in this regard is the one and only Trader Joe's in Manhattan, the discount gourmet food emporium on 14th Street east of Union Square. It is best to go to Trader Joe's with no thought of actually making a purchase, since it is so infernally popular that you could sit through an uncut Peer Gynt in the time it takes to buy a jar of organic peanut butter. Instead, just wander the aisles and take in the fun.
Rule 378. If there are 16 chairs on stage at the start of the musical number, and the actor is to knock some over during the scene, he may knock over one chair or all 16 chairs. Anything in between is unsatisfying and gutless. This holds true as a metaphor for many things on stage.
Of course, a theater critic with an evening to kill is all but obliged to uphold the standards of the trade by indulging in the traditional pastime, drinking. It is the holiday season to boot, so duty calls double. But the last time I mentioned in print my favorite watering hole in the theater district, the proprietor threatened to put coal in my stocking for Christmas and took down the sign, proving once again that critics can't win. For a rare rave review, I got panned.
In American theater, idolatry bears the name of naturalism. Its origin is the same as that of the paganism Kierkegaard wrote of, the desire to subsume all human experience under labels, definitions, and explanations, and therefore to substitute rationalizations for experience. We live in a low and contemptible time, a time when ideals are mocked and scorned, when the merely human is expendable, when those in position of official trust have put aside any pretense to disinterestedness and practice openly the grossest kind of self-aggrandizement. Theater, as a minor province of journalism, and that is what the current theater establishment amounts to, in my opinion, has accommodated itself to this state of affairs with nary a blush. I do not believe I can change the world much by writing plays, but I can provide a critique of reality, this collective act of imagining.
Or if I choose to stay downtown, I will probably make time for dinner and a drink at the Red Cat restaurant on 10th Avenue near 23rd Street, a favorite that is conveniently near the Chelsea Gallery district. A stroll through the district, followed by the tempura green beans and a pork chop, is a perfect way to spend a Saturday afternoon.
Theater is a communal art. One of the best things I know about community is what St. Paul said. What I am for you frightens me, but what I am with you comforts me. For you, I am a bishop. With you, I am a Christian. When you come into the theater, you have to be willing to say, we're all here to undergo a communion, to find out what the hell is going on in this world. If you're not willing to say that, what you get is entertainment instead of art, and poor entertainment at that. We live in an extraordinarily debauched, interesting, savage world, where things don't really come out even. The purpose of true drama is to help remind us of that. Perhaps this does have an accidental, accumulative social effect, to remind us to be a little more humble, or a little more grateful, or a little more ruminative.
And if you insist on being fully American this weekend by doing a bit of consumer spending, you can precede dinner at the Red Cat with a visit to the nearby Comme des Garçons boutique. With that $200 you're unable to spend on a good pair for a Broadway show, you can probably buy 2 pairs of socks. Pricey perhaps, but if I know Ray Kawakubo, those socks will make a serious theatrical statement.
Rule number 1. If you lived here, you'd be home by now.
You are home.
You are home.
You are home.
You are home.